Hello and welcome to day 25. There's a line from Nietzsche that I really love. It's hard to grasp and it requires a lot of thought, but it's in line with my understanding of Buddhism and the Buddhist tradition and the core message of Buddhism. Nietzsche said, hope really is the worst thing because it prolongs the suffering of man. I remember hearing that and thinking, what a miserable, mustachioed, depressed philosopher you are, Mr. Nietzsche. You need to get out of the house more and go and have a drink with your mates and just chill out. I like Nietzsche, but if I read him for more than a couple of hours, it's too dark, man. It's too heavy. But undoubtedly, a very sharp mind, and I think we can say a genius. Why do I say that's in line with the core message of Buddhism? The core message of Buddhism, if you look right from the primal doctrine of the Four Noble Truths, is the observation that life is full of suffering. Life is full of trauma. Life is defined by suffering. We are aware that we are finite. We are aware of our own temporality, our own mortality. Everything that we know and love, including ourselves, is trapped in time and therefore has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And that when we crave more than we are getting, we suffer. So how does that lead in with the Nietzsche concept of hope? But how can hope be the worst of all things, and how does that tie into Buddhism and the end of suffering? If we equate hope to the Buddhist conception of Maya, which is often translated as illusion, and I've repeated that translation, it's a mistranslation. It's not illusion. The root etymologically of the Sanskrit word Maya is mayam, which means magic trick. So when it was translated as an illusion, it meant an illusion, the likes of which, an illusion as a street illusion, a street magic trick. And there's actually doctrines from Buddhism, from both the major schools of Buddhism, where the Buddha talks about cognition and the ability to see the world as being like a magician's illusory trick. That's the illusion. So think of it as a magic trick. So there's this, we never see reality as it is. We see it through the layer of a magic trick. Nietzsche's hope. When Nietzsche's talking about hope here, he's talking about the hope that resides in kind of ideology, the hope of a hopeful future, the hope that says, do nothing, or wait and see what happens, or wait till somebody comes to rescue you or something, or wait for the perfect product, wait for the perfect government, wait for the perfect program, wait for something and I'll be saved. And all that waiting does is prolong suffering. The core message of Buddhism is a kind of optimistic existential nihilism through hopelessness. So this perspective is completely upside down for most people raised in modern Western culture, because hope is supposed to be great. Hope equates to optimism. Actually, if you penetrate hope, hope is always belief in illusion. It's always belief in the magic trick. It's always belief in a magical future that never arrives. That is how hope functions. You're like a donkey with a stick tied to its head with a carrot on the end of the stick. That's hope. You're a donkey chasing a stick that you can never reach. If you abandon hope, you abandon the stick, you abandon the carrot, you stop moving towards illusion and you come back to reality. Beyond illusion to some form of real grasp of reality. Everything that we want to have happen in exactly the way that we want it cannot play out. It will not play out that way. Craving it and allowing our craving to increase and our gratitude and our appreciation for what we do already have to decrease, I didn't even mean to say it, but I think that's the perfect equation for suffering that I just said while I was freestyling. Somebody should write that down. Write it down in the comments. That's the equation for suffering. Let your craving and desire increase and let your appreciation and gratitude decrease. That's the perfect equation for suffering. The etymological root for craving is also a parallel to desire. Again, it's kind of a mistranslation when we say attachment. I've been repeating that for years. The root of all suffering is attachment, because that was the translation that I read in the books when I was a kid in the 80s and 90s. But it's not attachment. It's craving and it's desire. It's appetite. An inflated appetite, diminished gratitude is suffering. Be grateful for what you do have. Everything else is a sort of a toxic hope. Everything else is an illusion, a magic trick. It's a magic trick that is played in partnership between the ego and people who would seek to coerce your perception and coerce your desires and coerce, ultimately, your behavior, and they do not have your best interests at heart. So reclaim that space, reclaim that sovereignty. Say no more with the magic tricks, no more with the hope. Let me just have what I have, be in alignment with that which is, not with what could be. It's all in the realm of illusion. Be in alignment with this reality. Appreciate, have more gratitude, more appreciation, diminish the craving, diminish the hope, and then you probably have an equation that if it's not for joy, at least it's for diminished suffering. Don't say I never give you nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time and for your attention, and I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow.